Hello everyone, welcome to the Joker Dolphin Gaming Pod. I'm Mark, and as always I'm joined by Matthew
Hi.
and Nathan.
Hey up.
How are we doing?
Really good. To say we've got a lot of banging going on outside, but all good fun.
I'd be doing a lot better if they weren't banging outside.
Yeah, just to inform everybody, we are recording this on Bonfire Night, which is probably not the best night for choosing to record such things, but, you know, if it sounds like a war zone out there, that's why.
Yeah.
But, shall we move on to Warzone and Call of Duty?
Loving the segue. Yeah.
Call of Duty news. Ooh.
Yeah. Well, Call of Duty recently had the early access to Modern Warfare 3 campaign, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's fair to say it's not gone particularly well for a number of reasons.
Yeah.
But they've had troubles in quite a few areas. I mean, did you see the thing about Xbox where players in the US, not Call of Duty players, but just like general Xbox users, they logged onto their Xbox and then they were presented with a massive on-screen advert for Modern Warfare 3.
Oh, yeah. I heard about this, yeah.
It just gave them three options, saying buy now, get the Vault Edition upgrade, or exit. I mean,
if you can't tell that Microsoft's recently bought Activision.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
this is the biggest advert for it.
I mean, I just hope this isn't going to become the norm. It's
I
pretty
don't know.
egregious,
I
isn't
hope it was
it?
just a
I mean,
one-off
when you
thing.
spend 67 billion on something, you're going to push it. I mean, I know it's not just for Call of Duty, obviously, but
Yeah, but
you
not
are
in
going
this
to try
way.
and shoehorn it in.
Yeah, but just to
It's-
log onto your Xbox and then suddenly just get Call of Duty.
Yeah.
No, we can't be doing with that.
So I can see it for the next EAFC. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a thing now for Xbox. Just big advertisements.
I mean,
Yeah.
they'd probably make an absolute crap ton of money from it, to be fair, if they did start doing that.
Probably.
Well, you're going to get kids logging on, aren't you? And they're just going to buy it straight away with
Oh, of course.
their parents' credit cards.
Well, it's the parents' fault for linking the credit cards. Stupid parents.
I don't disagree, but it makes it easier, doesn't it? Rather than having to go through the store and all that.
Well, we've
Sometimes
had
kids
too
just
many
smash
horror-
buttons, don't they?
We've had too many horror stories about it that people should already be learning.
Pretty egregious. But then, of course, there's issues with the file size as well, isn't there?
No, what? What file size? I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not going to have to delete all my games. Am I?
Yeah, probably. This is actually some. I don't know if it's been cleared up. Is it required to have Modern Warfare 2 installed as well?
From my understanding, I think technically Modern Warfare 2 has become like a hub. Shall we
Oh
say?
yeah,
Like it's its own
not.
app.
Yeah, sorry, it's not Modern Warfare 2, now, is it? It's just Call of Duty. It's like the Call of Duty
Yeah.
app.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But yeah, so it's apparently now it takes up to 235 gig, which is
That's half the space
astonishing.
of a. I don't know. Of anything.
But the thing is, that's as it is now. This doesn't even include multiplayer and zombies yet.
Oh my goodness.
No, I bet it does. I bet it's just preloaded. I bet you get access to
Maybe
it.
okay, maybe, but
Maybe.
either way,
But it does say you
Unbelievable.
can you can choose certain things to have installed or uninstalled. So
you can, but that doesn't excuse bad optimization, does it? I mean, how does every other gamer manage this? But they don't ever.
What what you got to think is that what Modern Warfare 3 really is glorified DLC.
Yes.
So it's going to have two games in one. So if you see it in that, because it's going to have a lot of assets taken from the Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
So I can see that, like, okay, if you're keeping all those assets and on top new assets there as well, then okay, I can see why it's that size. But
Would most people? Well, I don't know. I don't know these die-hard Call of Duty players, but do they delete the previous Call of Duty when the new Call of Duty comes out?
I'd say so, because like I just think about me playing FIFA or EA Sports FC. Like the second I got EA Sports, FIFA 23 was in the bin. See you later. I'm using that space for the new one.
Yeah.
Because otherwise,
that's a
then it
good
is just a
question.
massive game, isn't it?
Because like I think that I'd probably do that. I'm like
Yeah.
once Modern Warfare 2 came out, I was like, right, done with Vanguard, don't need it anymore. Gone. I've got this game now.
Yeah, so it's play the campaign if you want to do that thing. Delete it. Have the multiplayer installed still. And then when the next one comes along, you delete that, play the campaign, delete the campaign, keep the multiplayer for the rest of the year. It's kind of how it goes, isn't it? That's for me anyway.
Oh, for you, it's play the campaign, then that's it.
Well, yeah.
Delete it, play the
I guess
campaign.
it kind of is.
unless there's shipment or war, and then mark straight on it.
Yes, exactly.
Well, this is it, right? I've still heard literally zero news about this game mode other than like a 20-second advert they made where it was literally just like, okay, it sort of looks like war. I can see there's an escort of a tank and some massive rocket that shoots in the air, but there's still no news about it. And that's the only like mode I care about for multiplayer at this point. Like,
I mean, should we talk about the campaign though? Because it's not had it's not been received very well.
What,
has
the
it?
3-hour campaign?
Yeah.
Is it a campaign?
Well,
I would say it seems shorter than
so a lot of
normal
people.
campaigns.
Yes, a lot of people have apparently said it's between 3 and 5 hours or something like that. I think. I guess we'll say average of 4, and that's just a series of like DMZ missions.
Pretty much. I've
Kind
heard
of.
like most of the campaign is based on the Warzone 2.0 map,
Yeah.
and it's all like open. They call it open map missions, I think it is. What that actually entails, I don't know. Like, do you just go from point to point on the map? Is there anything interesting? Is there any like actual linear maps like there is in normal campaigns?
Probably not. It's just 70 quid for, as you said earlier, a glorified DLC. It's a bit shameless, isn't it? It's quite appalling. But we shouldn't be surprised with Activision, should we?
They really should have just like, I don't know, they should have just stuck to the original idea of what they were doing. Like, why can't they have just been like a, I don't know, even like it was $30 or $40 DLC with just like the maps that they're making, which the maps for multiplayer as well, they're just remasters of the original Modern Warfare 2. Like, that's a bit cheeky. I mean, they have said there will be like new maps after that as well, and they're also going to be drip feeding the Modern Warfare 2 maps into this, which just makes it even more obvious that this was clearly meant to be just DLC.
I mean, I know Call of Duty's been like going off the rails for quite a few years now, and I think players have not been happy. But is this possibly the laziest new game, if you can call it that, we've ever seen from it? It certainly feels like it.
I'd have to say, because I feel like in history, each Call of Duty that's followed each other has at least had like its own theme, its own feel, its own, like atmosphere, how it unlocks guns. Your loadouts were different. Like, each game seemed to at least experiment with different stuff. Whereas, I mean, from what I've heard about this game, they've literally just like stripped out as much as they could, so it feels more like the rebooted Modern Warfare, because everyone loved how that felt. No one really liked what they did with Modern Warfare 2. So now Sledgehammer's kind of come in and go, okay, we're gonna like chuck everything that made the last game bad. We're getting rid of the weapon tuning with the gunsmith. Can't tune your weapons anymore. It's going to be just solid modifications.
That didn't bother me as much, to be honest.
I mean, I didn't really mess around with that feature, so I don't know how the unlocking system is going to be like, because
you pay by microtransactions.
Well, yeah. But it was this instance, wasn't it, where it was like, okay, so if you want to unlock this mod for this gun, now you got to use this other gun, that you then need to unlock another gun to then level up to get the mod that you want for the gun that you wanted. And it's like, I can see what you've done. I can see you tried to engineer it in a way that like people then use other guns and get a feel for them. But it was something that was like, it was a change that was made for just necessity rather than an actual feedback of, oh, we want this. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think they just changed it just for change's sake, even though what we had previously was fine.
I think they probably did it to get people to play it more, to be honest, to enable them to get what they want.
Probably, but then like you're artificially boosting game time.
Well,
which
welcome,
is the whole thing
You know,
for Call of Duty. So
yeah,
welcome to achievements and trophies since day dot.
welcome to the game making 101, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. I still don't know what to think about the zombies. Like, I've seen gameplay of it, and
I think
it
it's with
looks fine.
the way the campaign's been received and all that. Well, campaign in air quotes. I'm not exactly holding out hopes for this war mode thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Because why have they not said a lot about it? That makes me question things.
yeah.
What are they hiding?
And the thing is, as well, I've read a few like contradicting stuff. So like, I think when the rumors first came out about it was gonna be, oh, it's gonna be this one massive map, and it's gonna be just like War and World War II. You'll do objective stuff and blah blah blah. I'm like, okay, right, well, okay, it's something different, but we'll see what it'll be. And I think I read somewhere else where it was like it's gonna be like the traditional war mode where it's 6v6. You fight objectives. There's an attacking team, there's a defending team. I'm like, okay, but I've heard it was meant to be on this one massive map, so
Yeah.
what is it? Is it just one map? Do we have different maps? Like, there's just no news about it. They've really been silent over like multiplayer stuff, and I don't like it.
Don't worry yourself, Matt. It's going to be amazing when it comes out. That's why they're not talking about it. They're just going to wow us all.
Yeah, they're really
It's going to be worth the 70 quid, and all will be forgiven.
Do you actually believe that?
No.
Also, just checking.
I mean, it got the campaign was rated the worst by IGN. It got a 4 out of 10.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw
And
that today.
that's
Yeah.
poor. And a lot of people think like Vanguard had the worst, and that had a 7. So
Vanguard had the worst.
a lot of people thought Vanguard was the worst.
I
I don't think it was.
I bought that game just to play the campaign.
I thought it was a decent campaign. Probably the weakest are the sort of new generation ones. So
But no, not going very well for Call of Duty.
no,
It's got a lot of work to do when multiplayer comes out. We shall see.
the multiplayer better be banging, else I think we might be seeing the end for Call of Duty.
Oh no.
Unless Microsoft
No,
can
come
do
on.
some-
The end of Call of Duty. Come on. We all know Muppets out there will still
Look, then,
buy it
look
in their
at
droves.
least maybe not the next one, but the one after will be the proper Microsoft backed one.
Nope, it still happen. I mean, if Microsoft come in and is like, you've got 2 years now, we'll release every 2 years, I might start giving them some respect. But
Maybe,
realistically, is that going to happen?
probably
Because regardless, Microsoft are going to realise it's a moneymaker, and they like their money. So why would they stop it themselves?
Well, yeah, 67 billion. That's all I'm going to say. They're going to want to claw it back somehow. So, yeah.
It's the quickest route, isn't it? Sad, but true. Should we move on to other sad stuff?
not. Do we have
Go
to?
on.
Yeah, shall we talk about Bungie? Yeah.
Oh no, what's happening with Bungie now?
So Bungie has become the latest studio to announce staff layoffs. But apparently, the company revenues for 2023 apparently fell short of their projections by 45%.
Oh wow.
Jesus, what do they think the
That's-
projections were going to be?
Yeah, either they were just did terribly, or their projections were so overestimated.
Are they just doing Destiny now? Is that it?
This was pretty much Destiny. Yeah.
Well, pretty
Yeah.
much at the moment it's Destiny 2, isn't it?
Yeah, because
So-
this is off the back of Lightfall expansion that came out,
Hmm.
which obviously doesn't seem to have been received very well. But subsequently, Bungie have pushed back the next expansion, the Final Shape, from February to June next year now.
Well, I'm not surprised they got no one to work on it.
Well, yeah, I guess so. And their new game, Marathon, don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's been pushed on to 2025 now.
Oh wow.
Hmm.
Heck.
But Paul Tassi from Forbes magazine did his own investigation about what happened about this.
Hmm.
And he uncovered 6 interesting points, which I'll just read ad verbatim. What's the word? I'll just read it. I don't know what the words are. It says, while owned by Sony, Bungie continues to operate as an independent arm. A wider Sony that don't make sense. A wider Sony ask for spending cuts resulted in Bungie deciding on a large number of layoffs. Estimates say around 100 employees, which is about 8% of the company. With them deciding who was laid off and how that process unfolded, going back on what was said a year and a half ago that the acquisition would not be in layoffs. Sony is not replacing anyone with internal employees, but some of the cut roles may now be outsourced entirely. Don't like to hear that sort of stuff. But it gets worse, believe it or not. It says employees found themselves locked out of all their accounts, systems, and emails before they knew they had been laid off.
It's standard practice.
And that was their first indicator. Others had short meetings in which they were told they were fired, but also not to tell anyone about it. Others found out the layoffs were happening on Twitter /X. Well, you can say it's standard practice, but it's not good practice.
It's not very nice, but it is what it is. Obviously, they've got to protect the assets of the company. In an employee goes back to the desk, what are they going to do if they've just been laid off?
True, I see your point.
Yeah, I see it from that side.
Well, yeah, it's not a nice thing. You'd think that they'd sit them down and have enough respect for him to say, this is what's going to happen. We're going to lock you out of your accounts as of the end of this meeting, and communicate a bit better rather than people finding out on X, for example. That's if I went onto LinkedIn, for example, and found out my job were gone, I'd be absolutely disgusted and devastated.
I'd be raging.
The troubles continue. It says employees were often not allowed to say goodbye to other team members or exchange contact info, which had to be done after the fact. Many team / line managers had no idea who was being cut from their teams until it happened. Some teams only lost a few people, others were decimated.
Wow.
So imagine having a team and then suddenly half of it's just disappeared. It's not exactly going to make your job any easier, is it?
And not even being consulted on who you want to keep as part of that process. I mean, that's horrible for people that are still there.
Just decide, like, right, this person. Like, what?
The company purposefully tried to internally hide just how many people had been fired, and only outside reporting after the fact came up with the number of 100. It came to light Bungie had fired some incredibly storied veterans of the company, like its composer, Michael Salvatore, there since the pre-Halo days, and Lorraine McLeese, who designed the original Halo logo.
Wow.
So, some pretty big people gone.
He made some of my favorite music as well in my childhood. So that's
he's been there pretty much throughout Halo and Destiny.
Yeah.
Is that 20, 25 years? I think it's been there, something like that.
Something like that. Long time.
Yeah. This one's a real kicker for me. Some employee benefits expire at the end of the month, meaning being fired on the 30th means just a single day of additional coverage on those benefits. Healthcare will continue as COBRA coverage for 3 months, as long as severance. So they fired him on the 30th. So the benefits will last for an extra day. That's a scummy thing.
Yeah. You'd at least give him 30 days to sort it out.
And then the final bit here says many employees had unvested shares as a result of the Sony deal that mandated they stayed with the company a number of years afterwards to collect.
Mm-hmm.
But that is null if you leave, and that includes being laid off. When that happens, shares revert back to Bungie, and as such, many employees just involuntarily lost those shares to the company that fired them.
I thought it were going to be a share save scheme where you can get the cash back that you'd put in, but unless they were gifted shares, yeah. But still, you'd think they'd at least give them an opportunity to cash them out.
Yeah.
At least get something.
This feels a lot of shady practices in there.
Yeah.
Which I don't like.
It just seems like at every step of the way, everything's just been done in bad faith.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. I mean, if anybody who's looked at the news recently, there's layoffs all over the place. I mean, I think you mentioned there's like 6,000 this year. I think you mentioned last week, didn't you, Nate?
Yeah. Well, 6,100 now.
I think it's both. I think it's around at least 6,400 now, I think. There's actually a website called Video Game Layoffs, which goes through all the numbers of the year. I think it's around 6,400 or something. But saying that, with those sorts of numbers, I think sometimes we forget that these are real people being affected.
Yeah.
It's not just a number, because there is a lot. But this I just saw this on Twitter/X, and it was tweets from Destiny 2 community manager Liana Rupert, who unfortunately was one of the people affected and is now not there anymore. And she said, working in games when you have high anxiety during a mass layoff trend across the whole industry is panicking at every new meeting invite like this. Is this the one where I lose everything? And that's super fun. Well, my heart is breaking for all affected. I am now looking for opportunities. I have 21 years of games industry experience in media production and community management. I'm processing. I'm so heartbroken. I don't know what to do from here. This was my home. I feel so lost. With Chu having been laid off earlier this year, I don't know who Chu is, might be a partner, I'm not sure. I am terrified we are going to lose our house. More than that, I can't imagine not going into the studio on Fridays for hooks, goofing off with DPS, brainstorming with the raid team, accessibility. I just can't love to all. I think that just sort of hammers home that 6,000 people potentially, if this is somebody who worries about losing their house because of this, it's good to potentially 6,000 plus other people who are going to have similar worries, obviously. And it's just not good at all.
No. And because everyone else is laying off, then how are they going to get jobs? They're going to have to move into different industries, probably.
Yeah, that's the thing. Who's going to be hiring?
But sad state of affairs at the minute, unfortunately. I think it's the hangover from COVID. Like, everybody overhired during COVID, and now everyone's cutting the cloth accordingly. Now things are getting back to normal after record profits, and people are paying the price.
Does make you wonder, doesn't it?
It's really, it makes you reflect on this year that, like, in terms of like virtual games, it probably has been
one of the
best years we've ever had. Yeah, in terms of the actual industry, it's probably the worst year we've ever had in terms of staff retention.
Yeah, it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Quite literally, I think.
Actually, I do hope it gets mentioned at the Game Awards. I do hope like Jeff uses his platform to be like, look, we've had our best year, but also we need to highlight that this is not good for the industry.
Yeah, would Jeff like to rock the boat with, companies there? He wants his exclusives, doesn't he? As much as I'd love him to do it.
If he had a spine, he'd do it.
Yes. Yeah. You heard it here first, Jeff. You know what to do.
Yeah. You're just a worm crawling around on stage.
This is going to be another stage invader who comes on.
Oh, God.
Goes on about it. It's like, just stop oil. Just stop oil, probably turn up. But anyway.
Bill Clinton kid comes again.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I've seen him on some podcasts. He's hilarious.
I'm sure you think he's hilarious. Anything else?
Yeah, I just want to give a shout out to the PS Plus games for next month, this month. Because I think it's a decent selection for like
the internet would say otherwise, but go on.
I'm going to say, yeah. The internet would disagree, but
the internet doesn't matter to me.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so we've got Alien Fireteam Elite. Obviously, Mark's played that recently, and I think we've said external to pod. It'd be a nice one for us to play together, so tick for that one.
Be fun. Yeah. It's pretty good. Pretty fun game.
Mafia 2 Definitive Edition. Now, I've not played any of the Mafia games, but I've always heard good things about them.
So same.
I've played the first 3. They're good.
And this one's got a 7 out of 10 on Steam, so it's got to at least be half decent. So worth the go.
Third one I'm not quite sure about, but 1 and 2, yeah, they're good.
And last, but certainly not least, Dragon Ball The Breakers. Now, I was going to get this when it came out, and I refrained from it, and I totally forgot it existed until I found out about these games, and I was like, yes, didn't have to pay for that one. So I'm happy with that. Yeah. Did you ever play that one, Matt?
I did. Not on launch. I did buy it in a sale for £10, so it wasn't too bad.
Oh, that's not bad then. Yeah. At least you're not like me, like recently just buying all the games that got put onto PS Plus. I got Callisto Protocol, Saints Row, obviously, as you got that as well, and then I'm sure there's been like a few others.
You say that when Mark talked about Fireteam Elite, I was like, oh, that's quite interesting. Thought I'd have a look at the store, still full price. So okay, I'll leave that. And literally the next whatever big sale came around, it's like it was on sale for about £20. It was like, all right, it sounds like a decent price. I'll go for it. And I'm just like, I could have just saved quite a bit of money there.
20 quid.
If I just wait.
Did you even play it?
No.
Oh, that's the worst thing, isn't it?
I didn't
You've
install,
not
and
even
I'm
played
like, okay, I've got it ready. Like, maybe Nathan might buy it down the line, but no. PS Plus comes in and ruins my days.
It's like, there's so many games I've bought. And it turns out, and I just didn't play them, and then they went on PS Plus.
Yeah, I regret Saints Row as well at this point.
But one I remember recently is Hot Wheels. I did buy
yeah.
that, and then
Oh,
that
did you?
went on PS Plus. Still haven't played it. So
I think FIFA 22, weren't it? Or yeah, definitely 22 came on PS Plus. That was a good one. Yeah,
That
was in the tail end of it, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Like there was about 3 months left, but it still meant I could sell the game and get a pretty decent amount for it back.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. If you had a physical edition, yeah. Tiny little profit.
Yeah. Can't complain for that. Only put the 300 hours into it. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to mention him because I think it's contrary to what the internet says, I think it's a good selection. So
Fair enough. Right, I've got a bit of news about a game that's recently resurfaced after 20 years, even though I don't think anyone even knew about this game existed. It was actually all thanks to, I suppose, a little Easter egg / potential future DLC for Spider-Man 2, maybe? So, I forgot who the user is, but someone, they're playing Marvel Spider-Man 2. I forget where it is in New York, but essentially they found this like almost kind of like a bookstore that you can. I don't know if you can quite go into it or not, but they essentially managed to sort of use like the forward mode to kind of break through the invisible barrier, and so you can actually look into it. It's like quite a detailed shop. And there's quite a few little hints to the ninja faction, the Hand in it. So a lot of people are thinking like, oh, maybe this could be set up for future DLC. Maybe, you know, Spider-Man teams up with potential heroes maybe and into it. And one other thing that got noticed and then got added back into the game on a recent patch, which I thought was quite funny, is in Hell's Kitchen. There's a city block or apartments where there's a plaque in front of a door that's called Nelson and Murdoch, Attorneys for Law, I think it is. And this was in the first game and in Miles, and it hints to, if you know who Murdoch is, that's sort of the alias for Daredevil. Now, funnily enough, when Spider-Man 2 came out, that plaque was it didn't have the writing on.
Yeah, blank.
It was blank, and someone brought it up to one of the directors who came on to like a YouTube channel to like talk about spoilers of the game, and the only thing he could really say was like, stay tuned about it, because they asked like, oh, could it be like hints to like what Daredevil could be doing, maybe DLC or something. And then this patch came out and they just re-added it, and it was like, oh, they must have paid their rent, which I thought was quite funny. I don't think it led to anything. It was probably just missed completely rather than actual hints. But this has ended up with a like cancelled Daredevil game just suddenly resurfacing on the internet, like a full prototype of this game that was meant to be made like 20 years ago. It looks pretty decent actually. It looks like it plays like the old Spider-Man games on the PlayStation, the original PlayStation, but we just as Daredevil. So you got like his kind of powers, you got like the X-ray stuff, and you got combos and all that kind of stuff. And I thought it was quite interesting of like how, I don't know whether it was just happenstance of like, oh, there's hints about Daredevil, or here's suddenly a whole Daredevil game prototype that's just now appeared out of nowhere. But no, it seems pretty cool. But I mean, if we do get Daredevil in DLC, I'd be like absolutely up for it. Or even just just make a Daredevil game. I don't care. Just give me that. I'll be happy.
Now we've got the Wolverine game coming up, haven't we?
True, we've got that. Obviously we've probably got hints of a Spider-Man 3 some down the line. So, but yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. See, like, just everything just happened for a reason.
Do you know Daredevil? Please forgive my ignorance. Is he actually blind or can he see? Has he got some sort of interpretation of what's going on.
Echolocation.
Yeah, so he does get blind. He is properly blind. But it's with it's a radiation that causes it. So they try and explain that due to this radiation, the rest of his senses become heightened, where he has sort of like an echolocation seeing capability. Basically, it depends on what you watch. I think if you watch the original Daredevil film with Ben Affleck, which I recommend you don't, they treat it as though any sounds that happened would bounce off, and he could see where the sound would bounce to, and they'd make they'd outline shapes and stuff, so he could see certain shapes and what people were doing and stuff. So I forgot how the Netflix series trait. I think they just trait is he can't see, but he can see. So.
Well, I was just thinking it might be interesting if they made it into some sort of a VR game experience.
Ooh.
But if it was just black, then you'd just be there trying to waggle his stick around, trying to fight people and getting the crap kicked out of you. So.
Yeah, I would see how they would treat it, because there's I think there's a horror game out that's got a similar thing to it, where you can only see when you make noises, and it outlines the room and stuff. But that'd be cool.
So, speaking of Spider-Man, GameSpot came out with the top 13 Spider-Man games. Now, I know we've not got time for all 13.
Spider-Man 13.
There's 13.
13
apparently. A lot more than that.
Going back to the top 13 games.
Oh, the top ones.
Not just 13. So this list went back to the Atari 2600 all the way to present day.
Can I guess some of them, or are you just going to go through?
Well, I'm not going to go through them. I've got the top 5 in front of me.
Oh, I feel like
I need the top 5. Top 3 easy. 4 and 5 might be a bit more difficult.
What criteria are we basing this off?
This is their personal preference in their blog about what they feel are the best.
Right,
so there's no figures behind this.
So we're actually searching for 2. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. I'm assuming that Spider-Man 2 is going to be number 1.
Yep.
Number 2 is going to be...
Well, no, wait. It's actually Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Marvel Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
The Marvel Spider-Man...
Marvel Spider-Man Miles Morales, number 2?
Nope.
Oh, they're going there for 3. Okay, I can see why.
Yeah.
So Marvel Spider-Man is number 2, and then Miles Morales is 3.
Yep.
4...
The Amazing Spider-Man.
No, I would not put any of the Amazing Spider-Man film. I'm going to say Shared Dimensions.
Yes. Have you read this?
No, I'm just going on what
I've never heard of
Spider-Man games.
I'm
and then 5 Web of Shadows.
Nope.
Ah, damn. I don't think they go for that one. Edge of Time.
Nope.
No, I don't think they would.
Spider-Man, the official video game of the movie.
Oh, Spider-Man 2, the movie.
Yes.
I was doing enough.
You were
yeah, we'll give that one to Mark.
Sorry.
Yes.
Since Matt did all the heavy lifting.
No. I had that on a technical.
I'll take that as a victory.
Smashed it. Well done, boys.
Well, let's be honest. You gave us 3 to begin with.
Well, so.
Yeah, true. Well, you would have got them anyway, so yeah.
I'm the expert on Spider-Man games.
Nerd, as I like to say. Well, I think that's it for the end of another pod. Thanks, chaps. If you enjoyed listening to us, please consider tuning in next time. We release weekly on Tuesdays. You can visit our website at jokingdolphin.com. Please follow us on all social media platforms to continue the conversation. You can find Joking Dolphin on YouTube and Facebook, as well as on Instagram and Twitter/X at Joking Dolphin. Until next time, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.